Hi, my name is Dan Clark, and I was a Jehovah's Witness for 40 years, and I left when I was 40, so I've been out about 12 years now, and I wanted to talk about a principle that somebody told me that I needed to be aware of when I was in the organization. Somebody brought it to my attention, and it was a very good principle that I think anybody can use. But this person told me, he said, "To thine own self be true." And I said, "What do you mean by that?" And he said, "Well, let's take an example here of a boyfriend and a girlfriend. Let's say for example, this boyfriend is beating up this girlfriend. And I see this girl, and she comes in and she's got black eyes, and she's bruised, and you could tell she's been beaten up. Well, being in denial about that, I would ask her, or her being in denial about this, I would say to her, "Hey, how you doing? Are you okay? What's going on? Are you doing all right? Looks like you're kind of roughed up a little bit there." And her being in denial, or to thine own self not being true, she would say, "Well, hey, everything is great. Really, hey, my husband and us, we got in a little argument last night, and a little bit of yelling, and, a little bit of tangling up a little bit, but, he loves me." Well, what you would see as a person is a person that was in denial. You would see a person that wasn't saying to themselves, "Hey, I'm being beat up. Hey, this guy is really knocking me around." And you kind of feel sorry for them because a part of their being is missing. A part of their being is being shoved down and not recognized. A part of their being is not being called up and taken a look at. And this can happen in a bad relationship with a husband and wife. It can happen at work, where your boss is working you and working you and working you and asking you to work more hours and stay longer and to do more things, and he's not giving you a raise. And this is going on for years, and you just keep shoving it down. You get this horrible feeling in your stomach that says, "Boy, I need to ask him for more money," and "Boy, I deserve more," and "He should pay me more," and so on and so forth. But instead of bringing it up and then bringing it out in the open and expressing yourself to this person, you shove it down. And in the same sense, you deny this part of yourself that's trying to speak to you, this inner GPS that says, "Hey, something's wrong." Well, for me, that happened within the Jehovah's Witness organization. There was a horrible feeling of divine discontent that came up within me. It was kind of my inner GPS telling me something's wrong. I started going to the door to door. I said, "Man, is Jehovah going to kill all these guys? These people seem so wonderful. They seem so nice. Could it be true that the end's going to come and destroy them all?" And this voice kept coming up, and this other voice came up inside me, this discontent, saying, "They lied to us. They told us the end was going to come 70 or 80 years after 1914. And it didn't. That was the 80s, early 90s, and they changed that whole prophecy." And I had a choice at that point, and this is the point that I want to make today on this YouTube video, that there comes a crossroads to where we're either going to deny reality, or we're going to thine own self be true. To thine own self be true. We're going to say, "I'm going to take a look at this." Well, I went to the elders and I tried to discuss this matter about the light getting brighter and the prophecy being off, and there was several things that came to mind that I was having some issues with, and I came to the elders. Well, the response back to the elders was they wrote to Society, which is in Brooklyn, New York, and they said, "Dan has these questions." And they said back to the brothers that Dan is entertaining apostate ideas and that he should be watched carefully. Nobody addressed that hurt. Nobody addressed that part of me that was saying something's wrong here. Nobody wanted to talk about it. It was keep quiet, stay in line, don't get out, you're a good-for-nothing slave, you're doing what you should be doing, and don't question the organization. Do not question the governing body. And I thought, as a human, I had a right to do that. It even says in the scripture that the Bereans examined the scriptures and examined things to see if they were true. Well, they examined them with what? The Bereans examined them with their own mind and with their own thoughts and with their own feelings. They didn't have to go to 5 elders in the organization to have them give them feedback and them say like a child, "Yeah, okay, I got it now." No, they were able to examine them. Well, what I found out over the years, now I left the organization I saw the falsities and I left. But I noticed a lot of people don't. They deny that reality. They make this Jehovah's Witnesses the truth right. They keep making it right. It's just no different than a relationship or a work relationship where you make the abusive husband right, where you make this boss right, or you just make it right and you deny yourself the opportunity to be whole. A part of you is lacking. I can't tell you how many different churches that I've walked into and kingdom halls, and the people look like vegetables. And I'm not saying that in a bad way or trying to put down anybody, but they look like vegetables. How could they not be? Year after year after year after year, prophecy after prophecy being wrong, and you make the Jehovah's Witnesses right? How can you do that logically? You can't. So you deny this part of yourself and you lose part of yourself. And you may lose yourself forever. I know lots of witnesses. They don't know who they are, where they're going. They're just sort of hanging in there. They don't even make meetings anymore. So I hope that you take a look at those things that are calling out to you for examination. And I hope you give them a fair look in the light of reason for your own self, using your own mind, and so that you can be whole and complete and live the life that Jesus said you could live. He says, I've come so that you could have life and have life in abundance. But we can't do this if we're in denial. If to thine own self we're not true. So that's the message I want to say today. To thine own self be true and examine these things in the light of the reason. Thank you.